President Uhuru Kenyatta and his elder brother, Raila Odinga, are currently outside the country. The two brothers are in the United States of America for the national prayer breakfast to be held between today and tomorrow in Washington, D.C. And that event will be presided over by none other than President Donald Trump. And the two individuals, the two brothers, are also expected to address the meeting. But what is the significance of that meeting? For us to understand the significance of that meeting, we need to understand what this national prayer breakfast is all about. And I managed to do a bit of research, and let me just share with you what I found out. Let me just share with you what I found out. The National Prayer Breakfast in Washington, D.C. Each year, over 3,500 people attend the National Prayer Breakfast in Washington, D.C., beginning on the first Thursday in January. This year, the National Prayer Breakfast will be held from Wednesday, February 5th to Thursday, February 6th. The event is hosted by members of United States Congress and is organized by the Fellowship Foundation. It is invite only and is attended by elite individuals within politics, society, and business. The prestigious two-day event is more than just a breakfast. It includes a day full meetings and forums punctuated by a lunch and a dinner. Over 100 countries are represented among the 3,500 attendees. United States attendees are comprised of diplomats, religious leaders, missionaries, workers, etc. And traditionally, all United States of American presidents have always attended this event. And this year's event will be graced, and just like last year, by Donald Trump. And Uhuru and Raila will be lucky to address the meeting. Let me share with you what Kanzedena, the update by Kanzedena, which is issued on Monday. According to Kanzedena, the head of state and the ODM leader were invited to attend the prayer breakfast due to their demonstrated commitment to peaceful and constructive resolutions of internal conflicts in Africa. So that's why these guys are there. And Raila Odinga, through his spokesperson, also updated why he was going there. Let me just read for you the statement which Raila Odinga shared through his spokesperson on the 2nd. His Excellency Raila Odinga has left the country for the USA, where he is to attend the National Prayer Breakfast to be held on 6th of February 2020 in Washington, D.C. Before the prayer breakfast, Mr. Odinga is scheduled to speak at the International Luncheon on Reconciliation organized by the United National Prayer Breakfast Team. The luncheon address will take place on 5th February, which means today Raila Odinga is supposed to address the U.S. National Prayer Breakfast Team. Mr. Odinga left the country shortly before 6 p.m. and is scheduled to hold a roundtable meeting with African ambassadors in the Washington, D.C. on Tuesday 4th. That was yesterday, ahead of the prayer breakfast meeting. In politics, everything has their meaning. And this national prayer breakfast meeting in the United States of America is a big deal to the politician, and is actually a big deal for President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. But what's the significance? What is the political objective? Why were these two individuals invited to the United States of America to talk about issues to do with reconciliation? In my view, I have 4 or 5 reasons. The first reason is that by the fact that these two brothers were invited to that event is a big or a major endorsement for the handshake. It confirms that the big brother is in support of the handshake. And therefore, I have a small advice for anybody who is still opposed to the who is still opposed to the handshake, that the big brother is behind it. And therefore, anybody who wants to run for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya and still opposed to this handshake must think twice. Because the moment a country gets a major endorsement from the United States of America, it's a big deal. You can only be invited to such kind of events, or Americans can only intervene to a country on 2 occasions. When the country is in a crisis, and 2, if the country is doing something good. That's the only 2 times they can intervene. And the mere fact that these guys have been invited to a celebration is something which means a lot to President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga and to the handshake in general, because basically it's a major endorsement. So that's number 1. Number 2, in my view, I think there is a wider scheme to raise the profile of Raila Amolo Odinga. Why am I saying so? This meeting is supposed to be addressed by the United States of American President Donald Trump. That's a big deal. Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta are also supposed to address this meeting. That's a big deal. What does that tell you? It's raising the profiles of these people and who are likely to attend this event. This event will be attended by several global leaders. And the mere fact that Uhuru and Raila will be addressing, and Uhuru is already a president, and Raila is addressing it, then it means the profile of Raila Amolo Odinga is being raised. I'm not saying that the United States of America are endorsing Raila Odinga, no. But it's basically an acceptance. Because for a long time, for those who follow the politics of this country, for a very long time, it has always been rumored that, for example, in 2007, the reason Raila Odinga did not become the president of the Republic of Kenya was because of the United States of America. They believed that Raila Odinga was going to implement socialist policies in the country. But I think over time, because the big brother, they normally have their eyes everywhere, so they understand whatever is happening in this country. So probably they've figured out that, okay, let's try elevate this guy, because this guy is a better alternative if you consider all those other individuals who have expressed interest in running for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya. Number 3, it's about Building Bridges Initiative. Building Bridges Initiative process, which was initiated by Raila Odinga and President Uhuru Kenyatta, in my view, there should have been, or there might have been, the hands of the United States of America behind it. We remember when these guys had the handshake, there was they claimed that there was someone, mutual friend, who reached out to them. Nobody has ever asked who was behind that mutual friend. Nobody. So probably there was someone behind that handshake. But beyond that, the Building Bridges Initiative, in my view, up to today, I believe the United States of America are behind it. And they are impressed with the progress so far. And remember, all these things are about funding. So basically, from that meeting, the chances of BBI getting funding from United States of America are so high. After that meeting, the chances of the referendum getting funded by the United States of America are so high. Because if you've been following For those who followed the former ambassador, US ambassador to Kenya, Reneberger, and also those who have been following the current ambassador, Makata, they've been very passionate about the Building Bridges initiative. So is there a chance or is there a possibility that these guys have talked about this Building Bridges initiative in a more positive way back in their country, and hence these guys were invited? So I think in all this, it's basically another support and endorsement for the Building Bridges initiative, with a view of funding either the referendum or the process, or just the moral support. But in my view, I think it's all about funding. Number 3. No, sorry, that's number 4 now. Number 4, in my view, is about trade and business. When Kibaki took over the reins of power in this country, he went east. And Chinese invaded Kenya. And as a matter of fact, Chinese policy has always been to invade Africa. And they've invaded Africa. And the impact has not been very positive. And because of that, many countries in Africa are trying to fix that. So they have started going to West with a view of allowing trade between the West and Africa to prosper. And in my view, I think what Uhuru and Raila are trying to do now, they are trying to court the West so that they can trade together, they can do business. Like, for example, the Mombasa to Nairobi, which was supposed to be done by the Americans. I don't know how far it has gone. But those are the signs. And after this meeting, because at this meeting here, these guys are going to meet global business leaders, people who are in business. So most of those people probably after that meeting, they'll exchange contacts. Some of them will come to Kenya to invest. Some of them will come to Kenya to build infrastructure for Africa, for Kenya. I want to look at it from that perspective. Number 5, which is also very important. I think the two brothers will now have an opportunity to discuss local politics very far away from Kenya, from the stress of this country. I'm saying this because in politics, nothing just happens out of mere coincidence. In most cases, things are normally planned and executed to achieve particular political objectives. You can't tell me Raila and Uhuru are in the US, in the United States of America, and they are not there with their key political advisors. Uhuru is with his team down there. Raila Odinga, I'm sure, is also accompanied with his team. So they're likely to meet. Probably they met last night. Or probably they are planning to meet. Or they'll extend their stay after tomorrow and meet and discuss Kenya. I think that's going to be very important. And lastly, Kenya is a key partner to the United States of America as far as their interests are concerned. When it comes to security, when it comes to dealing with the extremist groups like the Al-Shabaab, those kind of groups, Kenya has been a valuable partner to the United States of America. Remember, when Americans attacked Iraq, what happened in Kenya? Their training camp in Lamu was attacked. So that will not pass without these guys saying even thank you to Kenya or even giving more directives. I don't know what you think. But from where I am, the meeting in the United States of America, that national prayer breakfast meeting, is going to change a lot of politics, especially in this country of ours called Kenya. The presence of President Uhuru Kenyatta and the presence of Raila Odinga in the United States of America in an event to be presided over by none other than Donald Trump is a very important event to this country. I don't know what you think. Probably if there's something or if there's a reason why you think these guys are meeting, you need to let me know. But for me, that's my take. And if you're bumping on this video for the first time, I want you to take a minute, a second or two, and hit the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, you get notified. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without your support, this channel would not be where it is today. Thank you so much, and please may you have a good day.